The
The images.
It's in Poland, Indiana, so we love to see how far that is.
Dude, that's a Europe country.
Not so far that people wouldn't bring their kids to our office from there. It's the only reason I know where that Poland, Indiana exists.
It's
Do I
2 hours.
do I say fuck it and buy an Alienware PC?
No.
I didn't
No.
Oh
think so.
God, no.
Honestly,
That's
because you're paying like a 50% markup just because of the branding.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at Newegg.
I want to say just uh I don't know what there was a site. I don't remember what it was. I think Brandon told me about it. It might be PC Part Picker. You could pick out what you wanted and they would like pre-assemble it to ship it to you or something. I don't remember though.
I mean, you can do that on CyberPower.
Yeah, but CyberPower a few years ago got called out for like not putting the correct parts in people's computers.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't like that.
Like they would put the generic brand of stuff that doesn't work in instead of the brand name that does work.
Oof.
Yeah. And then they would skimp on certain parts, like my motherboard was missing like two or three of the like support struts. Yeah, it's
Oh.
We're live, by the way.
all in all
Hi,
it is.
everybody. How's it going?
Hi.
Oh yeah.
My fucking computer died. My life is a mess. It's falling apart around me, and I'm just smiling away in the middle of it.
Playing Elden Ring while talking to the boys. Talking to
Yeah.
the dogs.
Okay, so I found some places much closer to us here.
Okay.
There's one that actually interests me a little bit called the Witch's Circle.
The Witch's Circle. I think I've heard of that one
It's
actually.
in Daleville.
Daleville's not far.
In Sharp Cemetery.
I think I've heard of that one.
Off the beaten path in Daleville lies Sharp Cemetery in a small dirt circle with several stones. Reports have said that the location has been a place where witches have performed black magic. A man who once lived in the area is said to haunt the area, and a woman in white is also said to haunt the area.
Why is it always a woman in white?
Cause women in white are scary, man.
So brides are scary.
I mean, they can be if you get on the bad side of them. That's their day, man. Although
Oh.
there's also Crybaby Bridge in Anderson, which I have heard of.
I've also heard of that one. I've heard that one. What I've heard about that one sounds pretty dangerous. Because like if you go in your car just won't start back up after you stop.
Yeah.
Because the stories I've heard, you've gotta drive to like the midpoint of the bridge, turn off your car, and then roll down your windows, and you'll hear the sound of a crying baby, and then
Yep.
your car won't start
Well,
afterwards.
let's not do that.
Yeah, no, because that sounds like you're gonna get mugged and maybe murdered.
There's Elliott Hall.
Elliot
Is
Hall.
that's a Ball State thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been to Boston.
Although,
I think it is.
Right down the
was
road
that
from me, but I've
was
never
that
been there.
is that Elliot? Is that like a whole building, or is that one of the halls in La Follette? Because La Follette's no longer standing.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's one of the Ball State. I think it's one of the older ones. I know. Elliott is. I think that's the one.
I mean,
One of
you're on
my.
Google.
I think that's one of the ones my ex girlfriend stayed in.
Hmm.
Because I remember going up to the top floor, which was very creepy because it is a very old part of the building. It's just filled with books and shit, and spending time up there, and that's where supposedly the haunted place is.
Can you believe one of the elementary schools I went to as a kid was turned into apartment buildings and is now filled with crackheads?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's America.
America. It's the
Um,
American dream right there.
Yeah. Burning all the elementary schools.
there's Beach Grove Cemetery.
Yeah.
Over 150-year-old cemetery.
Wait, which one did
Houses
you say?
Beach Grove.
Oh, yeah, that's just the other side of Muncie, I'm pretty sure.
Veterans dating back to the Revolutionary War. 40,000 burials.
Yeah, it's like the biggest cemetery in Muncie, I think.
Yeah, ghost tours are scheduled there every year. So we could go to a scheduled tour.
There's a
Be kinda
cemetery
neat.
on Emmeline's parents' land.
Is there?
Yeah.
I honestly kind of want to have a property where I can have a dedicated, like,
It's
family
pretty small.
cemetery.
But it's a cemetery. There's dead bodies
I think
there.
that would be super cool. Have like a family mausoleum or something where the entire family is buried. And if they want to be cremated, then their urns will be down there. I think that would be cool. Have like decorative ones in the house or something. Be like, hey, this is Gertrude,
This
but
is
then have
Gertrude.
the actual remains down in the mausoleum. I think that'd be sick.
This is Aunt Gertrude. There's the Grunewald Historic House in Anderson.
I would love to live in a historic house.
Really? Not really to that, but Highland High School auditorium is supposedly haunted.
I feel like
I-
every auditorium is supposedly haunted, and every
Yeah.
cemetery.
I feel like the Blue River Elementary School is haunted.
Oh, 100%.
That place is fucking creepy, dude.
The elementary?
Dude.
Yeah.
I didn't spend
okay,
much time in there, so I have no idea.
while I was a TA for the library, we had a couple of days where she had us go to the elementary to help with stuff. What the heck? I missed 3 arrows on that one. 2 arrows. Hit the third one. And I'll tell you what, walking through, even during classes, walking through that building was real weird. Like,
I spent a lot of time there during the summer when all the lights were off and there were no teachers
Yep.
except for my dad working on his classroom.
remember when they
And-
were doing plumbing work in the high school, and the
Yeah.
marching band had to practice in the elementary?
It's one of those buildings that turns like really badly into a liminal space when there's nobody
Yeah.
else there. And
Yes.
it constantly sounds like there's somebody walking on like through a hallway on hard surface with heels on. But the
Yep.
hallway is carpeted. Like the entire building is carpeted except for inside classrooms.
Inside classrooms, the cafeteria, and the gymnasium.
Yeah. So it's real fucking creepy.
And I guess the stage, but
I think that the gymnasium was the creepiest place for me in that time. Because
dude,
it's so open.
that and the fact that there was the upstairs gym.
Mm-hmm. Which, do you remember having our 6th grade dance up there?
Yeah, that was real weird.
I didn't like that. Mostly because my crush asked me to dance with her, and I told her no.
Why?
I was like, oh, I'm fucking suck at dancing. I can't do that. So I just told her no instead of dancing.
Rough.
with her.
Dude,
You
I
know,
remember next
same
to
though,
nothing about
honestly.
elementary school. I remember next to nothing about all of school except for like senior year. I just blocked most of it out of my memory. Hardcore.
Hate it that much, huh?
Yeah, dude. Oh, I'm not even at 1,000,000 runes yet. Ugh.
Tell me about it. 216,000. Of course,
Oh, I'm at
My sh-
940,000.
my shit died, so
Yeah, that's a fair
You're
point.
running just a little bit behind.
just a little.
Oh yeah, Cargo. Remember you? You don't have to walk all the way to the edge.
I know.
You can just turn around and start aiming until you can see the bird's head.
Yeah, it just feels nice to walk to the edge.
Those are the closest haunted places I can find.
You didn't find the Jim Jones Church in Farmland?
Is there a Jim Jones Church in Farmland?
Yeah, that was on one of the Nukes videos we watched. Remember? Because we were sitting there and we Googled whether Jim Jones was actually in Indiana at any point. And he was the preacher at a church in Farmland.
I'm looking. Apparently, the entire Notre Dame University is haunted.
I mean, everybody's gonna say that about.
I'm looking now. Dude, I actually really like Nashville, Indiana. It's a
Never
cute
been.
little area.
Maybe I've been like through it, going somewhere else, but not enough to where I'd actually remember it. I don't think.
Do any of us here have a liquid cooled GPU?
No.
I would like to have a liquid cooled PC, but
Well, sorry, liquid cooled CPU with it's not the full blown liquid cooling. It's just for the.
no.
I do not.
Do you know anything about those? Because it's just the fan and the thing. Like, do you have to replace the fluid in that, or what's the deal?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about.
I saw somebody do one with baked beans.
I've also seen that. That's rough.
Probably doesn't work very well.
Imagine getting shit on by someone using a fucking PC cooled by baked beans.
So it's in Indianapolis, Cargyle.
Which one?
Jim Jones Church.
I swear there was one in Farmland, because it was on a Nukes video.
I don't remember it being in Farmland. I just remember there being one in Indiana. We'll have to find it again.
I'm gonna pull up the Jim Jones wiki. Give me just a second.
When Jim Jones left Somerset Methodist Church on the south side of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Are there any notorious cult woods in these areas?
Not that I know of, but I remember finding a fire pit with a dog's skull in it when I was a kid, walking around my hometown.
That's fun.
I went deep into the woods.
Let's go fight a cult.
Fight a cult?
Yeah.
I know a cult we can join.
Wait, a joinable cult?
Yeah.
What's their deal?
So they're fuck. What are they called? They're close to Christianity.
That's a little extreme for me.
Like there's a place called
Bloomington.
They have cover restaurants all over America.
Cover restaurants?
Yeah, they have restaurants that are basically covers for their cult. I gotta look it up. Yeah, it's just called the Yellow Deli. They're all over Indiana. And they're run by, well, they're all over, not Indiana, they're all over the United States. Their closest one would be in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oof.
But they're run by a cult, and I gotta re-find the name of the cult that runs it.
I saw something about a new religion based around Goku.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
There's a lot of comparisons between the stories of Jesus and the stories of Goku. So they praise their Lord and Savior Son Goku. They wear orange robes. They meditate for 3 hours a day.
Right.
It seems like a
So,
solid religion, you know. I'd follow.
the cult that runs the restaurants is called the 12 Tribes.
Mm-hmm.
They actually staged a hippie uh, culture protest, not protesting hippie culture, but like some kind of hippie revival movement in the
Mm-hmm.
70s,
That's fun.
where they were basically trying to make them more Christian.
Hmm.
They were trying to say, "Hey, Christian hippies exist." They're actually the movie that just recently came out, a really popular Christian movie that recently came out,
Mm-hmm.
is about that, and people don't realize that the people who started that whole movement was a cult.
Hmm. You see Joe
But
Rogan's comedy building used to house a cult?
oh, I didn't.
Yeah. It's the reason he bought it. I guess they were having cult orgies and shit there.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Fucking cult orgy. No, that seems that might be a little outside of my.
I mean, the closest we're gonna get to finding a cult in Indiana is the People's Temple,
Hmm.
which is Jim Jones's church, because his was in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Hmm.
Man, I could have sworn that this one I even read on Wikipedia that it was in.
I mean, we could also go to a Trump rally and we could join a cult that way.
I'm good not joining the Trump cult.
Yeah, I don't really like that cult. I'd rather
I
join
could have sworn.
Pastafarianism.
Pastafarianism?
Do you
Yeah,
not know? Do you know about that church?
No.
The giant flying spaghetti monster in space that rules over us.
Huh.
I'm going back to rune farming.
Yeah.
They wear they wear colanders on their head.
Colanders, huh? Does that
Yeah,
protect them from the spaghetti monster's mind control?
it's
Probably.
actually a thing in like their driver's license photos. You know how you're not supposed to have any sort of headwear on?
Mm-hmm. They're allowed
Because
to.
of their religion, they're allowed to wear colanders on their head in their driver's license photos.
I mean, you know what? Sign me up.
See, this is the thing. Like some sects of Satanism and like Pastafarianism, the whole point of them existing is to say this religion you call a parody is no more a parody than any other religion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The beliefs are just as wild. They're just a different kind of wild.
Yeah. Unless you go with Church of Satanism, where it's just atheism.
Have you seen where they brought the somebody from the Church of Satan? Lucian Greaves is his name.
Yeah.
On Fox News and tried to debate him.
I think his name is
And
Graves, but I could be wrong.
oh yeah, it's Lucian Graves.
And they called him Lucian Greaves.
Yeah, Lucian Greaves.
And it's like, that's not that hard of a name.
But basically, he was just like, so yeah, because the Fox host was talking about how
It
some
was
people
Tucker Carlson, wasn't it?
no, it was
Oh,
a
I thought
different
it
guy.
was.
But the Fox News host was talking about how some people don't want Satanism in school because they set up a Church of Satan after school program at a school,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, well, some parents feel that way about evangelical after school things.
Yeah.
So we're just setting up an alternative thing for kids to go to if they don't want to go to an evangelical after school program.
Yeah. I mean,
So I think it makes sense. Like the guy tried to the Fox News host tried to debate him. And then
Oh,
he
yeah.
said something about, when I think Satanism, I think sex. I think that's what
What?
they do. Is
What?
they have sex.
That sounds like a you thing, dog.
Yeah.
Right. I remember seeing a TikTok about that, and that was the part that they highlighted in the TikTok, and it's like, why is sex what you think of when you think Satanism?
Maybe it's his own Satanism practices.
It's his own demons.
Yeah, he goes and has Satan orgies.
A little off topic, by the way. Have y'all seen the computer cases where the side panel, instead of just being glass, it's like a screen that you can put different images and stuff on?
Yes.
I want that so bad.
Either that or the graphics card that you can put different
Yes!
animations on.
That's
Those are
cool
really
as shit, too.
I just want to do what I forget the guy's name. I think it's DIY Perks on YouTube. I want to do what he did, where he built a PC that was also a desk.
Yes, that's pretty cool, too.
He's also built one that was like fold away thing built into the wall that normally just looks like a cool little tiny display table thing on the wall, but then it folds out into a desk that is also a PC. He's done all kinds of cool stuff. I love it.
I can't wait until full body like VR rigs become more affordable,
Same.
or an alternative option comes out that's more affordable.
Fucking put a jack in the back of
More
my head.
affordable
Plug me
VR
right
in
in,
general.
baby.
No, I don't want that.
Oh, plug me in, daddy.
Said like Matrix, put a jack in the back of his head and plug him in straight into it. And I'm like,
I
thank you.
did have some recent news for you guys.
Mm.
Oh no, not recent news.
You guys know who the Island Boys are?
Oh yeah, they're gay for each other, aren't they?
Yeah,
Or is that would that be incest for each other?
it is. Yeah.
They're brothers. So, yeah, they for $5 on OnlyFans. They
For $5?
Yeah, somebody requested it for $5.
Island boys must be fucking hurting for money.
They're desperate.
I mean,
They're
they're the
all-
Island
I'm an
Boys.
island boy. Watch me fuck my brother.
I had the displeasure of coming across a video of them kissing on.
I also came across the
TikTok,
video of
and
them
I was
pissing.
like-
Or, not pissing, kissing.
And I was like,
There's-
why did you show me this?
At least you didn't come across the one of them sucking each other off.
Is there
Did you come
one
across
of
that one?
that?
That's what they got paid $5 to do.
Oh, they sucked each other off for $5? I thought they kissed each other for $5.
No,
No.
there's a video out there of them sucking each other off.
Island boys go hard.
No, Chance. No. It's incest. That's gross.
Well, I wasn't saying
Island
it in
boys go
admiration.
Alabama boys.
I was just saying, man, they go fucking hard.
Like for $5 too. Somebody was like, "Hey, I'll pay you $5 to suck off."
Keep
your
missing
brother."
the bird now because with this
I
topic,
wouldn't
can
suck
we
off a
change,
hot dog
please?
for $5. Fuck, let alone my brother.
That's
I
fine.
lost viewers because of this conversation.
I
Did
gained a
you?
viewer.
I did.
I'm
It went
sorry.
It went from 2 to 1.
Sorry, man. It
So the one viewer that was not me left.
was an interesting topic.
No, it's a gross topic.
That's gross, but it's interesting.
Is it though?
Yeah, because who the fuck sucks off their brother for $5?
No one.
wouldn't-
You
Island
can't
boy.
say no one. That's
the
no
Island
longer
boy.
true.
No one
There
in their
is a-
right mind. How
there-
about that?
There's at least 2 people on record that will suck their brother off for $5.
At least 2 people.
Minimum 2. And there's
No, you're
video
not-
evidence.
You're not wrong. There, that is at
Documented and
least
everything.
2 people.
And if you're
I
to
could-
believe Pornhub, there's a lot more sisters willing to suck off brothers for less than that.
No, that's different. Those are by marriage. Those are not
Oh, true.
blood
Step
siblings.
sibling. True. A little different.
They
And
also
also, they're completely unrelated actors because they're
they keep getting
actors.
fucking
What? You
stuck
mean
in
they're
the
not really stepsister and stepbrother? Come on. They even call each other stepsister and stepbrother.
They
Yeah,
wouldn't
because
lie to
every
you.
sibling calls their sibling
That's
by sibling.
that's how it is, right? Stepbro.
You wouldn't
Okay, I
know.
guess
They wouldn't know.
to be fair, my sisters do call me brother, and I do call them sister sometimes. But that's when we're being goofy. Like I'm like, hey sister.
Hey man, they're fucking. That's a little goofy.
But that's not goofy.
I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just playing devil's advocate over here.
There are some things you don't need to play devil's advocate for.
Yeah, I realized that about too late into it.
Yeah, I would say so.
Have you guys heard of Amberlyn Reed?
No.
I got an Amber Alert on my phone today though.
I got it yesterday.
I got one yesterday.
Amberlyn Reed is this lady on YouTube who started, I think, 2014. She started her channel with doing a weight loss journey,
Mm-hmm.
and she ended up gaining. She went from like 360 to over 500 pounds,
Oh.
and she just kept making excuses. She would like make excuses as to
Oh,
why
is
she
this
couldn't
the is this
exercise.
the girl who's like, oh, they forgot my salad?
Or
She pulls out
the,
like a fucking chicken Alfredo bake and a fucking full thing of breadsticks and fucking extra queso for dip.
brings out like the most ungodly
She's like, oh,
burger that you could possibly imagine. She's like,
I
I
can't.
ordered a light salad,
I
but
can't believe
okay,
they-
I guess I'm not
yeah.
gonna waste the food, you know?
Is that who
her?
this
Is
is?
that the one?
Probably. I mean, she's been doing it since 2014, and she just posted a video 39 minutes ago. So
I mean,
I have not. This rabbit hole is so
pull
big,
it
I
up.
have not gone down it.
Pull it up for a second. I'll be able to tell you if it's her or not.
I have okay. I have. I could share my screen for you.
Okay, here, let me sit at this side of Grace real quick then, and come over and.
Yep. Yep, that's her.
Oh yeah.
They forgot
yeah,
my.
yeah.
I ordered a salad, not a double, triple cheeseburger with bacon and French fries, fucking dipped in horseradish sauce, and then I just stuffed it right in my fucking butt.
With melted cheese on top.
Where's my Caesar salad?
Oh, and you know what's really bad is that Nikocado Avocado makes fun of her.
He has
Oh.
no room to make fun of her. He's a maniac.
If you're getting made fun of by Nikocado Avocado, no. Nikocado Avocado is weirdly a genius.
No,
It's all an act.
I don't care. It's awful.
It's all an act, but it's all a really cringy act.
It's
No,
horrible.
he's losing weight now.
Is he though?
Yeah, he is. He's actually lost quite a bit of weight, and at
My
least
s-
he's not sucking off his brother on OnlyFans.
I mean, true. He is one
Oh,
step
but
above
Is
the Island
dating
Boys.
his OnlyFans.
The scale goes Nikocado Avocado, Amberlyn Reed, and then the Island Boys.
Although the veracity of which he has sucked off some food on his channel is up there.
Well, and I unfortunately have had the displeasure of being sent an unwanted picture, an unsolicited picture of his asshole.
Of
Same.
Oh.
Yeah.
Same.
Somebody, I don't remember who it was, one of the people we were friends with on Discord.
Does he have an OnlyFans?
He does, yes.
That's disturbing. He probably makes more on that OnlyFans than I do as a fucking surgery scheduler for a dental office.
Oh,
Dude,
1000% he does.
That's
I've
fucking
always-
bullshit.
Said
It is.
I could probably start an OnlyFans where I just eat on camera and make more money than I do at my job.
Yep,
You know,
probably.
what the fuck am I doing with my life?
I've debated it, honestly. Like, I've genuinely been like, I wonder if I did that, would it
Dude,
could I actually get that to go anywhere?
there are so many different people on this planet with so many different kinks. You could do anything on OnlyFans, and somebody would pay you for it.
As long as you're consistent.
Dude, I went down another rabbit hole recently that was real fucking disturbing.
Yeah.
So there's this guy called Howard the Duck on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you meant like the actual character, and I was like, yeah, he was
No.
in Infinity War and Endgame.
No, it's a different. It's just an old British guy. on
Yeah.
TikTok. And he has a wet clothing kink.
Interesting.
Right? Well documented. If you go to his actual Facebook page, which
I don't want to.
people have gone down this rabbit hole, have done all the research. If you go to his actual Facebook page, he is part of groups that cater to this kink. Now, the disturbing part is, and this happened a lot, especially back when YouTube first started, people with weird kinks would make fake challenges,
Mm-hmm.
propose those challenges online to children.
Oh, so like the ice bucket challenge and all that?
Oh.
Stuff like that. So yeah, so that's what he was doing, is he was going on TikTok, and there were parents who didn't realize what he was doing, because he would be like, hey, have your son take a shower with his clothes on for a challenge. It would be funny. And then
Those parents are dumb.
they would do it, and sometimes
Or they
just
know
the
exactly
kids
what
would
he's
do it.
doing, and they're part of the whole problem. And
It's
that's
possible.
even worse, but you know.
But then they went down an even bigger rabbit hole and realized there was a YouTube channel that he has curated with hundreds of thousands of these videos that he has been like amassing and having other people make for him for years.
The crazier part
hate
is the parents that basically monetize the fuck out of their children.
Yeah.
You mean like every single children's YouTube channel out there? You know,
Yeah,
like
it's fucking crazy.
literally
They-
every single one of them is just the parents exploiting their kids for money.
Yeah, they are the new
It's
era of
disgusting.
Disney Channel stars.
Yeah, you think that kid's fucking getting that money put away for them? No, the parents
Absolutely not.
spending that shit.
And
Like the
you've
freaking what
It's
is
like
it,
that
Ryan's
episode of
Toy Reviews
fucking-
or whatever. His parents are pocketing every
Oh,
single
Ryan's
cent of that
World?
money.
Ryan's
Yeah, the toy reviews or whatever.
Yeah, that.
His parents are pocketing every single cent of that, and it's gross.
Well, and I remember when he first got popular, a lot of people were saying, A, that the parents are just monetizing their child and pocketing all the money, and B, what's going to happen when he becomes a teenager?
Right?
Right? When he gains the
Ability
freaking
to make decisions
self-awareness
for
to be
himself.
like, wait a second, what's going on
But-
here?
Then they had another kid.
Yep.
Mm,
They spaced it out so as he got too close to being a teenager, they had another kid.
Of course. Fucking, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Exploitation of children is
It's like that episode of Family Guy where Stewie's becomes a commercial
disgusting.
actor.
Well, and it's the same thing with like child stars from like Disney and Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
If you look at
100%.
Jeanette McCurdy's story, oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. God, that second child, Ryan's younger sibling, they're gonna have a lot to live. You're not doing it like Ryan did it.
Yeah, you got to be good as Ryan. You got to do the Ryan face. Come on.
Some of
Well,
it,
Not only that, they marketed a whole line of toys with his face on it.
Oh yeah, like
that's so much worse, man. Ugh.
shit be cringy.
And you guys
It should
remember,
literally be a crime to monetize videos of children on the internet,
well, do
like
you
they
guys
do.
remember like, fuck, what was his name? Shane,
Dawson.
not Shane Dawson. It's a family vlogger.
No.
No.
Um,
Only family vlogger that I really watched was Roman Atwood.
I
okay,
never watched any of them because I thought they were all cringy and
well,
gross.
he was a family vlogger, and he would always put on this like, oh, our life is so cool, our life is so great. Look at how awesome this is.
Oh, and he
Wait,
turned out to be
is
like
this
an
the guy
abuser.
that murdered his girlfriend?
No, this guy. You guys remember when the website Ashley Madison was hacked?
No,
No,
what's the
I don't even
website
know what that
Ashley
is.
Madison?
Ashley Madison is a cheating website
Oh,
where
Ah,
people who are in marriages can go and cheat on their spouse.
cool.
oh
Um,
yeah, I think you talked about
it,
that to me
yeah,
before.
it was hacked, and his name was one of the top names on their spenders list.
Solid.
Yikes.
And that really broke everyone's like view of his family, and it basically destroyed his channel.
I'm not gonna lie, if someone's like whole income slash career is a family vlog YouTube channel, I'm already questioning the legitimacy of
All of it.
any positivity in their life at all.
Well,
Like,
it's like fucking Ned Fulmer from the Try Guys.
Oh yeah,
Who-
fuck,
Whose
dude.
whole thing was "I love my wife. My wife is great." Fucking cheats on his wife. The only Try Guy to cheat on his wife is the one who talks about how much he loves his wife, and that's like his whole personality.
Yeah, that
yeah.
was really a fucking string of bad decisions on his part.
Oh, absolutely.
Like he fucked himself. Well, that's like
Yeah.
fucking Mini
No,
Lad.
he fucked someone that wasn't his wife.
True, yeah. Mini Lad fucked his career, dude. He still goes live. Like still see his shit pop up in my suggestions. He'll be
He
like
still
live to like
does that.
300 or 400 people, and I'm like, what are you doing? Stop.
What did MIDI Lad do? I don't even remember that name.
A bunch of fans came out talking about how he was essaying them.
I want to
Oh,
say he was
lovely.
another one that like groomed his fans and stuff.
Yeah, grooming and all that fun stuff.
Another
So
Colleen
freaking-
Ballinger.
Oh my God, Colleen Dodgers. You guys saw her apology video, right?
No, I still haven't, and I refuse to watch it.
Who is it? What is it?
Do you
Miranda
remember a YouTuber called Miranda Sings?
The name is familiar, but I don't.
Wore the big bright red lipstick and had messy hair and would sing with a ukulele and stuff.
Purple shirt, purple cat shirt.
Huh.
She was one of the early YouTubers that popped off real big around the time of like Smosh and stuff.
Well, I'm pulling up a video so you can see.
Wasn't
Oh, I saw a clip of her doing a song in a jail cell talking about how she's not a, a groomers or
yes,
something.
that was her quote unquote apology video for it coming out that she groomed a ton of fans and stuff. Is she was like, I'm not a groomer, I'm just a loser with my ukulele singing a song.
A 14-year-old Irish kid used lingerie.
Ooh, rough.
Yeah.
And like
Real gross.
talked about sex in a group chat with a bunch of her fans. Real weird.
I want to say I
Not a
don't
good
take
look.
anything I say like we're not saying things as fact. We're just saying as reports and what we recall. So just take that into consideration. But I feel like Call Me Carson was one that was also a name that went around as like grooming fans and stuff.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
No, he was.
he was one
It
of the
wasn't
names that
grooming
went around.
fans though. It was basically being a pedophile.
Ah.
Like what?
Not-
Well, I mean, the
It's-
grooming fans kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Why?
It's
Why
just the
feel
other is a bit more broad.
like when you're getting these kinds of you have this level of notoriety? Why do you feel the need to go?
Well, a lot of
That
it starts
route when-
before they get the notoriety.
True. Yeah. It's when they're not unsure of whether they'll come up.
And then they do gain a footing, and they're like, I'm just gonna keep doing it because this will never come back to haunt me.
Or they
Well,
try
you
to
know,
hide it, which then comes back to bite them in the butt
Or
even
they're
harder.
such a narcissist that they don't see anything wrong with it. They're just like, excuse you, why are you saying I'm a bad person for doing this bad thing? You're bad for saying that I'm bad. You're mean to me.
I think there were like 3 Yogscast members who got in trouble for stuff like that.
Yeah, and they deleted every single video and stream VOD that ever had them included in it, including a lot of their like charity stream VODs and stuff.
Yeah,
I remember hearing about that
they
not
Yeah,
long
that's
ago as well.
that's gotta be a weird thing with Minilad. There's a fucking football stadium named after him or some shit. He's like the sponsor of a football team.
Oof.
Oof. I feel like if Ryan Reynolds, never gonna happen because he's a sweetheart, but
He
like
really
if someone
is.
like Ryan Reynolds came out to be a bad person and then like Mint Mobile and Wrexham football or whatever, like they're all gonna have to be like, well,
I mean,
Did-
what the Will Smith thing?
yeah. Which I still think a lot of the reaction to that was kind of overkill, but
Oh,
whatever.
for sure.
Did something happen with Sky Does Minecraft?
Sky does Minecraft. That was the one that divorced his wife, wasn't it? And then he became a rapper and made songs about how he and his wife were divorced.
I remember
That
him
was the one that
becoming
my
a
ex
rapper.
said she was his cousin.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Don't get me wrong, some of the songs were really good songs. Like he got some good lyrics and some good flow, but it's still a little weird to like right after start monetizing it, you know?
I'm gonna see.
I
If
guess you gotta get the emotion out somehow. Like I would definitely write after something like that. I would definitely start writing the songs, but I wouldn't like monetize them.
I'm looking at his views. He hasn't posted in 2 years.
Yeah, he basically quit a few years ago, I'm pretty sure.
See, that's something that happened with a YouTuber I used to watch. He was super big. He has millions of followers, and he just stopped posting. And I haven't seen anything.
PewDiePie.
There's nothing on his fucking social medias anywhere. I'm like, did you fucking die?
PewDiePie stopped posting though because he was about to be a dad, and now he is a dad. He
Yeah.
got baby now. And it's a real cute baby. I didn't watch the video, but I saw the thumbnail. It's a real cute baby.
Have you seen people upset that he's a dad?
Why
'Cause
do
they have
care?
parasocial relationships and they can't separate his life from theirs.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
That's what I hate about the current. One of the things I hate about the current online situation is that there are so many people who have parasocial relationships,
Yeah.
and that's what leads to like massive simp communities,
Yup.
which can get
That's what
very
leads to people selling
dangerous.
bathwater and farts in jars.
Oh god, yeah. Belle Delphine's following, Amaranth's
And,
following.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
All
Yeah,
that shit's fucking crazy.
that's
And
real weird.
those can get really dangerous for
Like,
the person who has.
That following, yeah, for sure.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Supporting actresses and models and stuff that you enjoy on a site like OnlyFans, you do you, fam. By all means, do that. Support people. But bathwater and farts in jars, and like even like used lingerie and stuff is real weird to me. Like,
Yeah, but
that
fart in
feels
a
like
jar is a whole
biohazard.
other fucking level, dude.
I mean, yeah,
I
like that's
watched.
hardcore biohazard type situation, and that's just
I watched an episode of the Cold Ones recently where they were opening fan mail,
Mm-hmm.
oh no,
and
Did they get poo?
well, they got a jar, right?
Mm-hmm.
oh god,
And the guy like left a letter, and he was like, "Only one of you is allowed to open the jar."
Oh.
There's a message. There's a
No,
secret
it was
message.
only gamer legends are allowed to open this jar.
Yeah, And then, like, Chad opens the jar and he goes, "Oh, that smells weird." And then he hands it to Max and goes, "Do you smell that?" And then Max took a big old whiff of it and goes, "Yeah, it stinks." And then they took the letter out of the jar and it said, "I farted in this jar." Lol.
And they both die.
It was actually perfect timing.
At least it wasn't another type of jar, if you get my drift.
Oh my god, no.
That would be the most biohazard you could ever biohazard. Like,
Oh, by the way, Carl, you remember that shoe on head video I was talking about wanting to show you guys?
oh yeah.
I may change my mind on that.
Yeah?
PragerU just made a video saying that she's right.
Who's right?
Oh, never mind then.
Shoe on head. Even though I do agree with her, she's getting a shit ton of hate because PragerU said she's kind of right, you know.
If PragerU says you're right, you're probably wrong.
But let's think she wasn't wrong.
Well, yeah, I guess that's fair. Because you talked to me about it, and it sounded somewhat sane. Like, I would have to actually, like, dwell on the stuff for a little while and stuff.
I don't know. Do you guys want to watch it real quick?
I kind of want to root for him.
I mean,
I can do both.
You could just pull up my stream on the other screen and listen to it.
I could. But that would, I guess, yeah.
How long is it?
21 minutes. I agree with a lot of things she says. Shoe on head in general. Not everything she says.
Men are.
She's a very kind of divisive person. So
Yeah.
And
can you guys hear it?
yeah,
I want to. Okay, I remember this video now.
Shoe on head.
Shoe on head.
I feel like I remember a little bit about what you talked about with this one, and I have a feeling I know at least part of why PragerU was like, yeah, she's right, and it's because, you know, she's saying, hey, men are victims, and PragerU's like, yes, men are victims.
I think it's less, hey, men are victims, and more, hey.
Well, that's PragerU's stance.
Yeah, men can be victims. It's more of everybody has different problems.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to just say men don't have any problems.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start this video, and I got
Like,
two.
certain problems definitely have different weights, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like, socially. But just because a problem is outweighed by another problem doesn't mean it should be ignored completely.
Well, and she's also discusses why characters like Andrew Tate are gaining so many followers.
And, like, the like, incel community and stuff like that.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start
I am
this video.
owed intercourse by this woman because I am a man. That kind of bullshit.
I'm starting.
Not
Okay.
okay. That's right, folks. The men
I'll be
are
right back.
not okay. The men have no friends, no girlfriend, no college education, no money, are breaking their legs and inserting
Sounds like
metal
me.
rods into their bones to be a few inches taller, and
Not that
listening
one.
to AI Batman help them overcome their pornography addictions.
You deserve real love.
Turns out the society
Yep.
that was built by and allegedly for men has indeed let them down. Now you might be thinking, oh look, another boo-hoo poor men video by Shoe on Head. Yes. And if you have a problem with that, tune into literally anything else.
I mean, I like the attitude.
Men are in a crisis, and it seems nobody really cares. And the people who do care just seem like the people who want to sell them shit. Not me. I'm different. So before we get into this, let's quickly get into today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Holzkern. Holzkern is a young Austrian company that designs unique crafted watches and jewelry made from all natural materials. Their high
And if I could
quality
afford that
timepieces
kind of
come in
stuff, I would
various
get it.
designs for both
Yeah, the
men
fuck?
and
Who
women,
do you think
making
your
them the
audience
perfect gift
is?
for any occasion.
Her?
They're a great blend
Apparently.
of function and fashion, and overall, I just think they look very classy.
My ass would be
Watch it
especially
be
rocking
like
a
a
for the
fucking
$20
men's
watch.
$2 Dora the Explorer
I was pretty
watch.
impressed with the silver casing and blue marble dial of the Naturalist watch,
Dude, that's
which
gotta
made
be like
for
a
a great
$2,000
gift for my
watch, like,
boyfriend.
what the
He
hell?
especially loved the casual yet stylish appearance, making it an ideal choice
What's the
to wear
company
both
called?
at work and at home.
I don't know.
I'm also
It'll
really
say it
happy
in
with the
a
watch
minute.
I picked out. It's made from
Like,
black
she'll
and
say it
white
again in a
marble
minute,
and
probably.
features a nice black
sponsorship.
leather
They always say it
bracelet that
multiple
just
times.
feels so comfy. They also
skirt.
create elegantly crafted earrings, very unique handbags,
HOLZKERN.
sunglasses, and necklaces, like this rose marble elevation necklace. It makes a really memorable and unique gift for a loved one. All of their products have a 24-month warranty,
Holzkern.
and ordering online is
Yeah,
super
Holzkern.
easy with free shipping to the US
I'm
and
pulling it
most
up,
EU
just to look.
countries within 2 to 5
Oh, yeah,
$450.
So if you want to get yourself a
Yeah,
good quality watch and
$450 for
support
one of
the
those
channel,
watches.
I highly recommend
Fuck
checking
me,
out their
dude.
store and clicking the link in the description below.
Yeah.
Use my special
If
code
I could afford
SHOE15
that,
at
I'd get a
checkout that will give you
$450
15%
watch,
off
but
for all products store-wide.
I can't
So
afford
go
a
to the link
$20
down below and
watch.
choose your own unique piece of
Oh,
me.
15%
Thank you, Holzkern,
off,
for
baby.
sponsoring this
Fuck
video,
yeah.
and thank you, the viewer,
That's
as
literally
always, for
half
not
of my
skipping
bank
the ad.
account for
Why
a
are men
watch.
and boys
No,
struggling?
thank you.
And what should we do about it?
A few new studies have come out that have shown that young men are
Oh,
more lonely
interesting
and
that she
single
used a
than ever
CNN
before.
clip, and
But it's
Prager
not
U was
just
like,
men,
yes, this is
the
good.
women and children too. It's predicted
Prager U is one of those
45%
that's
of
like,
women will be
CNN
single
is
and
liberal
childless
fake news.
by 2030. But according to the media, this is a good thing. The she-economy is booming, as they say. And meanwhile, men being single is treated like this.
New study explains why some single men are having a hard time finding a new partner.
Some of the music that they listen to speaks very derogatory.
Right. Yeah, man, stop listening to that derogatory music. Then maybe you won't be single. I don't know, I think men and women being single and
Music that
lonely
says,
kind of
"I'm
shows there might
sad
be
and I
something
wanna
wrong
die."
with society.
That's 90%
Perhaps
of
we
my
should
music.
address this, not just
I
wave
listen
it
to
off
very
as
emotional
empowering
metal
or
music.
pathetic. According to several different articles,
Or Sleep
I love how
Token,
that's
which
my
is like, I
source.
love you
I read
so
about it
much
on the internet.
that I'm
Research
gonna
shows that
die.
people from individualist countries show a greater sense of loneliness. This is linked to socioeconomic development, increased education, a shift towards white-collar jobs, and urbanization. Japan also has an issue with loneliness. In fact, they have a whole movement of people they call the hikikomori.
Hikikomori.
Did I say that right?
Hikikomori. Have you guys ever heard of the hikikomori epidemic
No.
in
No.
Japan? There's a huge population of men who just become hermits and never go outside, stay inside, play video games, never leave at all or attempt to talk to any women, which is why the population growth in Japan is at an all-time low. Because it is a massive portion of the population. And it's only getting higher.
Basically, postmodern
We don't care about your ad.
Raid Shadow Legends?
hermits.
Looks like
Mostly young men who
It does.
completely
But it
withdraw
also looks
from
like
society,
literally every
secluding
single mobile
themselves in their
RPG
rooms
ever.
for months and years at a time. In 2010, there was an estimated 700,000 hikikomori in Japan. And today, it's estimated to be about 1.55 million. And because of things like this, people aren't having babies, so Japan's population has been in a sharp decline since 2011. It's gotten so bad that Japan even produces videos of live-action women staring into the camera to help the hikikomori learn to cope with eye contact and reintegrate them back into society.
Wow.
But basically, if
Dude,
you
that's
want to know
exposure
America's
therapy
future,
turned to the
look no
max.
further
Like,
than
that would
Japan.
freak
A lot
me
of
out.
people, including myself, blame this partially on the rise of social media and technology. R.I.P.
That's
to
like
the
if
king.
someone
Although
has
technology makes
arachnophobia,
things easier, it can also make us more
you just
atomized. Why go to
dunk
the
them in
mall?
a tank full of spiders and say, hey, this is gonna help you cope with spiders. Like, no, that's not how that works. You don't
I
just
think-
throw a tarantula on an arachnophobic person's face and say, you're gonna cope with spiders now.
Well, to be fair, from what I've seen, Japan does not really pay a whole lot of attention to mental
Oh, no,
health,
absolutely
anything.
not.
So it's surprising they're doing anything about it.
Well, they care about their population. They need people to work.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's probably why there are so many hikikomori, is that even as children, their lives are run by this work culture, even in school,
Yeah.
where they go to cram school after they get out of normal school, and they have to have good grades, and and then after that they have to get a job, and you're looked down upon if you take your allotted vacation time and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
When I
Which
can
is
just
where
tap,
we're
tap,
headed
tap,
here.
buy a new
Yep.
microphone and have it shipped to me in a day. Why hang out with friends when I can get all my social interaction I need from Twitter and streamers? Why go on dates and bother meeting women when I could just tap, 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 Google big boob and get 2 million results? Or see my high school crush's holes on OnlyFans for only $5. Instant dopamine, instant satisfaction, and hey,
Honestly,
who
though.
even needs a real woman when you could just have an AI
That's
girlfriend?
a genuine thing that people
We're
do.
so fucked. Dating apps really are the great Satan, and I'm convinced they've completely broken men's brains. Women on dating apps are picky. Women in general are picky, and I mean, naturally we are pickier. We're the ones who carry the babies. At least for now. But on dating apps, you have to admit, it's a little insane.
What?
It's safe to say that the
have you
was
not
that?
heard about that?
What was that graph?
I didn't catch the, at least for now, bit.
There's artificial wombs.
And I mean, naturally we are pickier. We're the ones who carry the babies.
Okay.
At least for now. But on dating apps, you
I,
have to admit,
for some
it's-
reason, thought it was
How men rate
because of
women.
how often I see it online. I thought it was like a trans joke, and I was like, that's gross.
Oh yeah. Fucking dating
Uh,
apps are like this. Men will swipe on anyone basically. Women will not. Like, I never get fucking matches. And anyone I do get a match with does not fucking talk to me.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
I got very lucky. I met Hannah on a dating app, and
The odds
very
of that
lucky.
are fucking minuscule.
Yeah. And they always advertise like how good their
Yeah.
like turnout rate for like marriages are, and it's like I don't believe you.
Right.
Especially on something like Tinder, because Tinder is 100% only for hookups now. People
100%.
only use it for hookups.
Yeah, that's why I can't understand why I can't get someone to hook up. Like, damn it, Tinder, do your fucking job.
Use Grinder instead.
Grinder, I thought that was.
It is.
It is.
It's exactly
Before you
what it
See,
is.
even
that's
finish
the
your thought,
problem
it is.
too. I would have so much fucking success if I was into men.
Yeah.
I could be
yeah.
fucking ass every night.
I have definitely noticed this on. I even, me and Hannah did an experiment once when she was talking about how, she thought she was unattractive and how she would not have success on things.
Mm-hmm.
And so we made a fake Tinder account
Oh yeah.
with her.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
And she got a shit ton of likes.
Oh yeah.
Shit ton of them.
Well, I think I had 30 matches on Tinder. I looked at Emmeline's Tinder one time. Fucking hundreds. Hundreds. I was like, oh my god. How even? That I don't know. Women. I'm nice, I swear.
I always had the problem where I was like, man, this person's really pretty and they seem really cool personality-wise. Oh, but they're out of my league, so I'm just gonna swipe left to avoid the embarrassment of them not swiping on me and not matching. So then I was just swiping left on everyone
Dude, when I
because I was
when
just
I
like,
was,
they're out of my league.
when I was more picky on Bumble, which is where I met Hannah. But when I was on Tinder, I just liked every single person.
I'll tell you
I
what.
I just swiped right. I didn't even look at profiles.
Not only did I think everyone was out of my league, but I also didn't want to like start a conversation with someone and then be like, oh wow, you're actually really lame, and be like, hey, can we just not talk anymore? I couldn't handle that like awkwardness of talking to someone like that and be like, yeah, you're not as cool as I thought you would be.
Well, and there's also this weird standard now that I don't think a lot of people talk about. When you're not a generally attractive man
Mm-hmm.
and you attempt to like go out in public and flirt like an attractive man would,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you're
You're seen as
creepy.
a creep, yeah.
Yeah.
You're a
That-
creep.
That's a meme I've seen go around a handful of times.
See, that's the problem
It's
too.
the office worker. Uh, the office worker, and there's the like handsome coworker that comes up, and there's the fat like IT guy coworker that comes up, and they're just like the one they're like, "Oh, thank you, that's an empowering compliment," and the other one's like, "Ah, you're a creep, get away from me," and it's
Yeah.
literally the exact same words, just from a different physical person.
See,
Yeah.
my problem is I like to think that I'm reasonably attractive, yet I always still feel like I am not and that I am a creep.
Like, genuinely speaking, I think you're a bombshell. Like, I think you're hot as fuck, dude.
I
I'd
see.
suck your dick for $5.
I would not. I'd need at least $20.
Man,
But
I gotta,
20 bucks is 20
I
bucks.
gotta start an OnlyFans. Shit.
$20 is $20. What can I say?
No, like there's times where I'll like look at myself
as
in the
it's
mirror. I'm like,
clean,
yeah,
though.
I'm fairly attractive, and then just past experience makes me think that is not the case.
No, I do think it is just that, and this is something I heard when I was watching the series on MILF Manor on
What?
Cinnamon Toast. Yeah, there's a dating show called MILF Manor. It's really fucking creepy. All these older women come on, and then they have the reveal where the people they're going to be dating are each
The
other's
other,
sons.
yeah, the other MILF's
Oh
sons.
no!
Yeah.
Yeah.
No! Oh no! Oh
Yeah,
no!
but so many, and he talked about this. So many of these women were just like, oh, I'm really attractive to younger guys, and Ken was like, in some cases that may be the case, but in other cases, to them you're just easy
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you have such a high libido as you describe it. You're easy.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
it's not really, oh, I'm attracted to older women. It's you're just the easy one to sleep with. Younger women have, I don't know what to call it, more self-respect, or they have more experience, or sorry, less experience with shit men. They're just pickier in general with who they go out with, who they sleep with, and older women who are in that time in their life where they're just like, oh, I want to fuck now. Easy. So the younger men are just, they just take, men are less picky in general. They really just, most
Well, and not to
men,
mention the fact that if they're strictly in it for a sexual relationship, younger men are much less likely to have some form of ED.
Mm-hmm.
well, and I also know that, younger men just don't care that much who they have sex with as long as they're having sex,
That's a big thing too.
So it's a weird culture these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which, I don't know if it's necessarily that it's a weird culture these days, or if it's more like this weird culture is much more easily known to people that wouldn't normally participate these days. Because that's something as well, like, things aren't necessarily more popular now than they used to be. It's just that more people know about it now because it's so much easier to get access to information now.
Well, and they started the MILF Manor series with the statement that they said that it's normal for older men to have relationships with younger women, and it's seen as weird for older women to have relationships with younger men.
No, it's.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, I would disagree with that too.
I think
I
it's
think both
more
are weird.
socially. I think both are weird, yes, but I think it's more socially acceptable for older women to date younger men.
Like, if it's more than like a 5-year gap, then it's a little weird.
Like,
I-
sure, you got fucking what's his name from the Titanic, but like that's a lot.
Oh, his dating range is 25. Once they hit 25, he breaks up with them.
Yeah, that's fucked.
That's
Yeah.
real weird.
Have you not heard that?
I have, and I don't
Yeah.
like it.
All right, let's continue with this video, and you guys tell me if there's anything later on that you want to talk about or you disagree with.
Okay.
I was like, we'll just do what we normally do, and when we find something, we'll be like, hey, let's talk about this.
It's a little insane. It's safe to say that the commodification of love and the window shopping of dating apps probably has to do a lot with the rise of lonely single men. Men are not just lonely when it comes to dating, they're lonely when it comes to friendship too. According to Vox, Americans are currently in a friendship recession, and men are being hit the hardest. The percentage of men who reported having at least 6 close friendships fell in half since the 90s. 1 in 5 men say they have no close friendships. Looking at all these statistics, the explosion of figures like Andrew Tate is not surprising at all.
I believe being a man is a blessing because it starts so different. I believe that every man is born without any value at all. I think that the world's never going to think you're important unless you make yourself important.
And recently, a new study came out about how young men are moving towards the right. And every other month, we, the liberal,
I've noticed that
SOCDEM,
big
leftist,
time.
whatever you want to call the space online, performs the same song and dance. What's wrong with men? Why is this happening? Why don't we have a leftist Andrew Tate? We need to push men to the left. Andrew Tate rarely, if ever, talks about politics. Andrew Tate talks about men, and the left only talks about men when they talk about Andrew Tate. A few months ago, during one of the monthly song and dances, some progressive people I follow made the mistake of addressing men's issues, and the even bigger mistake of pointing their finger at their own spaces for not doing enough to address said men's issues.
Recently,
I want to touch
there
on
were some
something she said. I forget what all she said, but like the left doesn't talk about men unless it's Andrew Tate or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, to me personally, is just like, it depends on what space you're in within that group, because I don't see much at all about Andrew Tate, but I also don't see much at all about specifically men's
Well,
mental
he's
health
also
and stuff like
dropped
that,
off since
so,
he's been in hiding or prison or wherever he's been.
yeah, which, I mean, good.
But for a while there, he was all over everything for me. It was fucking annoying as shit.
But I think what she's saying there, it doesn't mean it's just Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
It's more
A
the
more
left
popular
talks
for them to talk about.
well, the left talks about men when it's shitty men,
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
like Andrew Tate.
And I do see that as being a somewhat common occurrence compared to concerns about stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I do see specifically in some closer knit groups that I've got, they do talk about, like what I mentioned, the rise in young, like right-wing incel groups
Mhm.
is staggering, which is very concerning.
Well, she's about to get into that conversation, that bit of that conversation. So
Gotcha.
we'll see what she has to say about it, and what these other left wing online people have said about it. Because I think this is the Young Turk. Yeah, this is the Young Turks.
I've never heard of them.
Very left wing, like alternative media outlet.
That explains it. I try not to stray too far to either side, really. I mean, I definitely
statistics
stray
by
way
healthcare
farther
company
left
Cigna
than right,
indicating
but I try not
that
to stay
men
stray,
are
like,
the
extreme.
loneliest generation. And addressing it doesn't mean that you turn your back on issues pertaining to women, but it does mean that we should be focused on what it is in society that is leading to this epidemic, what the left can do to offer solutions, and how we can basically fight back against the more nefarious figures who have filled the void that, you know, men are struggling with, people like Jordan Peterson and what have you. Now, recently, Vosh, who's a popular streamer, had tweeted this thread that I think is really, really important to address. He writes, I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left doesn't.
The responses to these tweets and this content were very normal, level-headed, and respectful. Me when I lie.
My son is autistic, and he is going to be starting preschool in just a few weeks. I call him an angel sense.
LMAO, cry
I
about
thought that
it.
was
Boo f***ing
part
who.
of the video, and I was
no,
like,
poor widow men having
what?
problems. Boo f***ing who. Grow the f*** up then. Have men considered being smarter? I'm enjoying all these sad little moids and their sad little tweets about their sad, pathetic lives. Sounds like a personal problem. Is the lack of compassion
Well,
for men in the room with us right now?
alright,
Maybe
so-
men are just not good.
part of this, a lot of the earlier ones, this one feels like super duper like left wing. But some of the earlier ones just sound like boomer ideologies. Like, if that makes sense, like, oh boohoo, grow up, be a man. Like that's a very like boomery ideology of men aren't allowed to be sad. Just
Carl,
grow up,
That's what you
strengthen
end
up.
up with when you go too far left. And it's less, oh, you have to be a man, and it's more, your problems don't fucking matter. Or you don't have problems because you have privilege.
I guess. Like I said, maybe it's because I try not to stray too far either side. I try to avoid one way more than the other, but
Shall we continue?
yes.
People then. I'm so fucking tired of people trying to make male loneliness a huge societal problem. Yeah, no, their fifis are not my responsibility, and I shouldn't have to be punished because they can't get their shit together as human beings. Grow the up. Why are we trying to win these entitled little predators over? The left isn't for them. That's why they go right in the first place. We're all lonely and alienated. It's young men going to the alt-right in droves. The problem isn't our messaging, it's them. It's literally not our problem. Men flock to Andrew Tate not because they're lonely, but because they're bigots. Hope this helps. Nah, it's just misogynists being louder than before and not getting laid. LOL. Cry harder, losers. 90% of all homicides recorded worldwide were committed by male perpetrators. We should just get rid of all males, to be honest. This includes trans women, as they still retain male violence. By the way, you know the Tumblr feminists who were like, all men are sexist and rapists, male tears, penises are evil, blah 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 back in the day? Well, this is them now. Should've just let me cook back then. Listen up, chuckle. I'm white, socially awkward, autistic, in my 40s, ugly, overweight, crippled, got a weird balding pattern, and have bad skin. You know what I didn't do? Choose to become a fascist, because I recognize most of the sort that look like me are the problem. I may be hideously ugly and pathetic, but at least I'm not a fascist. Thank you for your input, buddy. You're, really helping the situation. The reason young men flock to alt-right MRA movements is because the left gives brain-dead advice to young men. We need to be more compassionate to them, for our own sake. I'm sorry, but how is respect women brain-dead advice? What advice? Don't rape? Don't be a rapist is bad advice? Help, I have no friends or
No,
community. I
but
feel
that's
suicidal.
exactly what he's
have you
talking
considered-
about.
Yeah.
The fact that your only response was that is exactly what he's talking about. You're refusing to address a larger problem by focusing on, ha.
You're attempting to treat the symptom and not the cause.
Not only that, but like they're completely unrelated issues. That's the whole thing of like the whole like this is Twitter. I like waffles. Oh, so you just hate pancakes then? Oh, and nobody even mentioned French toast. I see how it is. Like that's exactly what this is. Like he brings up one very specific point and then they jump to other points because they don't know how to have a cohesive conversation. I ran out of breath. I forgot to breathe.
This is what I've always fucking hated about some of this, teach young boys not to rape thing, right? First off, I don't think there are a lot of men that are just born with the desire to rape people. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing. It's
I'll say
definitely
great.
a
Sorry.
taught.
Yeah.
It's a
Plus-
taught behavior for sure.
And not only that, the people who do it know it's wrong.
They just don't care.
Yeah, it's not like you can teach them not to do it because they don't know it's wrong. The people who do it know it's wrong. They're just bad people.
Yeah.
So that sentiment has always been wild to me.
It is very, very weird.
Yeah, just teach them not to do it. Yeah, you could tell them not to do it, but if they're fucking sociopaths who have no idea how to empathize, or
if they're grapists, they're gonna grape.
Yeah. I mean, I somewhat kind of understand the person's response of like respect women, brain dead advice ? But in this specific instance, yes, your reply is brain dead. That is not the point of what he said. The point of what he said has nothing to do with that.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
Not raping? Act like a decent human being. It's not hard. Is brain dead advice? Brain dead advice
Yes.
like get consent and don't be a Nazi and women are people. Walking up to men struggling with loneliness and depression like
Kids, don't be racist.
incredible. Here's my actual advice I would give to my teen boys as a leftist. 1. Always get enthusiastic consent. 2. Save the planet. 3. Don't say that. It's actually kind of racist. Like, what the f is this? How does this address men and their issues? It doesn't. Why does their advice always seem to be, become a liberal? Hey men, here's how to fix all your problems. Agree with me politically. Men flock
Well,
to the
it's not
MRA
even
movement
that.
because
It's not even that. It's completely deflecting. Like, it's not just, hey, be a liberal, or hey, agree with my political stances. It's, hey, I'm just gonna change the subject entirely and not address what you said.
Well, and that's what I was mentioning before. It's just them saying these are the issues that matter and yours don't. You know,
Yes.
women's issues.
That's
you know,
That's
Yeah.
what I was saying as well. Is like, just because it's a larger issue does not mean we get to ignore the first issue. Like,
well, and here's something else. A lot of those larger issues could be solved by working on this smaller issue as well.
oh, 100%.
Because we've already come to the conclusion that these things are not being followed because they are lonely, therefore they are going and following people like Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Who do not agree with these sentiments.
Exactly. Like the whole save the planet thing. When they get lonely, they follow people that make them feel important, and those people think climate change is a myth.
Yeah. All right. And I do want to say this isn't us agreeing with the sentiment. I don't remember what I was going to say here. I had something profound to say. Sorry. Okay, there. This isn't us agreeing with the sentiment that, because there's a lot of conservative sentiments that, men or white men are the most oppressed people
Oh
in
yeah,
America.
absolutely. No.
We are not oppressed.
No.
But just because we're not oppressed societally doesn't mean men don't also have their issues.
That's what we're getting at.
My stance is everyone under a certain dollar value is oppressed equally. Nah, that's not true. Everyone's oppressed monetarily. How about that?
Yeah. Economically, everyone's oppressed.
Yeah,
They don't
in
give
the
a fuck.
economic sense,
They want their
everybody-
money. They don't give a fuck about your money.
Well, and that's what I've seen a lot recently is people discussing the existence of the white race, and when it actually came into play, and it being back in the day when they had indentured servants and slaves, and the indentured servants and slaves were banding together and rebelling, and so the government at the time decided that they would come out with the white race to make the indentured servants feel more important than the slaves, so they wouldn't band together and overthrow the powers that be because they have money.
That makes sense. I mean, to be fair, racism in general is mostly a monetary system when you boil down to it.
Well,
At least in America, because it all stemmed from wanting as cheap of labor as possible, and
well,
they
and
decided, hey, we can make these people feel more important and or less important based on what they look like, so
bef-
we can make the most money.
well, and before race-based slavery, the white race did not exist.
Yeah,
We were, Scandinavian. We were Irish,
it was
Scottish.
based on where you came from
Yeah,
Europe. Like
we were
there was
fucking killing each other in
hardcore
Europe.
there was hardcore racism against like Italians and stuff back in the day.
Yeah, there was no there was no big happy white family in Europe. We were slaughtering each other.
It was like, oh, you're from this country? Oh, gross. You have this accent? Ugh.
Yeah, it only was brought into existence to keep rich people rich.
Oh, 100%.
And it
And
continues to stay that way.
that's 95% of all issues is just trying to keep rich people rich and poor people poor.
And it's still that way because
Oh yeah,
they're still
100%.
doing it.
Oh yeah.
One of the biggest issues in America right now is that conservatives and liberals are fighting each other, not even realizing that the government fucking hates us. Every single one of us, no matter what political ideology we follow.
It depends on where you go, because
It's not the government though, it's the corporations that own the government.
Yeah.
well, in turn meaning the government. But like even within either side, you've still got your groups that are just like, I don't care who's in there. I don't like any of them. They're all bad.
Yeah.
I just don't want the ones that are actively trying to harm us on the surface level.
We just need a hard reset. Like let's fucking do something that's
Right?
gonna change everything. Let's fuck it up.
I was talking with my girlfriend the other day, actually, because we were watching. Actually, I might have been talking to Nick, telling you about us watching the Hunger Games. I don't know. I was talking to someone watching the Hunger Games and stuff, talking about how, unironically, I feel like the U.S. is genuinely headed in a similar direction.
Honestly, we're due for
Like-
a Hunger Games or two.
Like, genuinely, it's to the point where the government is going to try to have some sort of spectacle thing to distract us from the real issues and
You
keep
know-
us from making actual
No,
positive
the
change.
spectacle is going to be a civil war.
And it's not even gonna be that.
Well,
the spectacle is
that's-
gonna be a war
that's the
with
thing, though.
aliens where they unite us
That's-
against them.
That's the thing, though, is that's sort of rather kind of what happened in the Hunger Games that caused the Hunger Games to exist in the first place. It was a global nuclear war that led to the fall of most civilization, and then as civilizations were rebuilding in North America, that came Pan Am, and then some of the districts like District 13 and so on and so forth decided, hey, we're being treated unfairly by the capital, so let's revolt. And so they did, and then
Got fucking
the
nuked.
capital, no, that's the thing, the capital was losing so many soldiers, they made a deal with District 13 to be like, hey, call this off and we will
Leave you
grant
alone.
you your freedom. You can be your own separate nation, and we'll just pretend that we nuked you. And they were like, you know what, sure, fine. That way we won't be oppressed by you anymore. And so they did that. They fake nuked District 13, and then started the Hunger Games to keep all the other districts from revolting.
I mean, I'm down. I like
It's
my
crazy.
odds in a Hunger Game. Honestly.
I do not like my odds.
I'm
too slow,
fucking.
man.
I'm biting bitches' jugulars out to get out of that bitch.
Nick, did you say I'm too scared?
I'm too slow.
Too slow. I'm too scared.
I'm not too scared.
I don't think even in a life or death situation, I don't think I could bring myself to do some of the things they do in those
I've got
Here's the
enough
thing.
pent up trauma. I would be a menace.
Dude.
People would be terrified of running into me.
My pent up trauma would make me shut down, though. That's the thing. I would just cease all function and I would just stand still on the starting platform, just like staring blankly into space, like not even registering that I'm anywhere physically. Like, I would completely shut down, and then I'd catch like a friggin' sword to the neck or something. Like,
I think I'd just go full emotional nuke mode and just start fucking fist fighting people.
Oh yeah. After
Even
the
if they
first
have a
couple
knife.
nights of me picking off people in the dark while they sleep, they're gonna be just fucking traumatized. They won't want to go out.
I know how I handle stress, and it's by shutting down. It's not a good time.
I'd be in my element right there.
Let us continue this video.
I was gonna say, we gotta get to this fucking video. Let's stop.
They're the largest beneficiaries of MRA shit. Imagine saying women flock to women's rights activism because they're the biggest beneficiaries of women's rights.
MRA was.
No f***ing shit. Let's be honest. Aside from procreation purposes, men have become obsolete. Most women can find other methods of achieving orgasm without a man there. And speaking as a man, most of us are horrid to be around, and I don't blame any woman for just saying, no
What a
thanks.
pick me.
Oh my god, dude. This is what every Just Pearly Things tweet looks like to me. Just with the genders
Like-
swapped. This is pathetic. You know what fixes male loneliness?
Like White Knight
Fucking
kind
all.
of deal.
As a man, I'll say this. Sit down, shut up, and beat one out.
Hold on, that one these just piss me off.
100%.
Jerking off does not fix loneliness of any kind.
No.
It also tends to make me sadder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually makes people more lonely. I don't know,
Well,
that's-
depending
Unless they're
depending on the
real
situation.
weird and they
Sometimes
start
I'm like,
naming
"Ooh,
their
that's
hand
good."
Patricia or some shit.
I just think people equate men with only sex. Like, oh, you're just an
100%.
emotionless sex robot. You're obsolete because you can't bring people to orgasm. You're obsolete, so you just fucking jerk off. So you're not lonely anymore. That's not the kind of loneliness people are talking about.
Right. And again, brain dead responses. That's the brain dead advice that the guy was talking about before.
Men only want two.
Completely
things.
missing the point and saying some off the wall, unrelated nonsense.
You'll feel better, I promise. Yeah, guys, just beat one out. Just off. Just watch porn. Batman will be very disappointed in all of you. It's so funny how men feel entitled to a girlfriend. No, you sexist freak. When one side is like, wanting a girlfriend is sexist entitlement, and the other side is like, here's how to get a girlfriend. I don't know, bro. What happened to males just kicking the bucket? Now they
Oh
just
my
come on here and
gosh.
try to make their loneliness and misery into some social justice issue. Oh, trust me.
Wow.
Men are still kicking the bucket. And when they're not giving
lot.
mind-blowing advice like just
Like
to
a
be
lot,
a
a lot.
liberal, they're outright dismissing men's issues completely. It's not our job to educate them. Since men created the problem, they need to take steps to fix it. We have other things to care about. Men can figure out their own problems that they created. Again, it's not women's jobs to change how men are socialized. It's a man issue and y'all need to address that amongst yourselves. Men created their own problems. Men can solve their own problems. The left is busy. Why does the well-being of other people concern me? Leftist,
Wait,
by
hold
the
on.
way. It's all systemic.
We did not make it far.
It's men's problems. Men can solve their own problems. The left is busy. There are no men in the left. That's some. What?
Yeah.
How did you get from point A to C? You skipped B entirely.
No, dude, they went from point A to point negative A. They found the negative letters somehow.
Yeah, genuinely though. That
issues and
sorry, that's
societal
just
factors and blah 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 until it's a man and then suddenly it's pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. This problem is just a consequence of the patriarchy. Now take a wild guess about which gender created the patriarchy. solve your own problems, and leave women alone. These people rightly mock the bootstraps rhetoric until the subject is a man, and then it's bootstraps all the way down. They would never talk about any other group this way. It's
That one
wild.
took
And
the
it's kinda
opposite
like both sides are
approach.
telling men to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but
Instead
one
of
is
saying
like,
it's a men
I'll show
problem, let
you
men
how,
solve it,
and
the
the
left
other
is
is
busy.
like,
They were like,
fuck off.
it's
And when they're
not
not telling men to
the-
straight up fuck off, they're giving the 200
I'm
IQ
sorry,
answer that nobody
I
has ever.
cannot think coherently right now. I'm so taken aback by the freaking. All I can say is like it's cognitive dissonance at this point. Like none of them are making any sort of coherent thought at all, and it's
The
breaking
problem
my
is you're
brain.
reacting emotionally.
I'm trying to react logically, and the logic isn't logicking. So the next step is emotion.
There is no logic here. It's all absolutely insane.
That's what I'm
Never
saying.
heard
Like I'm
before.
trying to
Just
see
show your
logic, and there isn't
emotions,
any.
bro. And I'm not dismissing this problem, okay? I've made videos talking about this. Oh, you're crying at your grandfather's funeral? Okay, faggot. And studies have shown that
Wow.
men are scared to be
Genuine
vulnerable,
genuine
even around
response
the
I've seen
homies.
people
and can
give
you blame
though.
them when the
Yep.
media says stupid like this? Fellas, is it woke to open up to your fellow men and discuss history? Men are
Yes.
socialized to believe strength, dominance,
But
and
that's a good
stoicism
thing.
are behaviors of a real man. Is it any surprise that men are lonely and have less friends nowadays? You have to be vulnerable to make friends. Don't tell me there aren't systemic problems
Is the
affecting
woke in
men.
the room with
Now,
us
while
right
a lot
now?
of this may be true, men have been socialized this way for centuries, and this is all relatively a new phenomena. Toxic masculinity has existed forever. If anything, there's less toxic masculinity nowadays. The cultural embrace of like gender nonconformity, femboys, Harry Styles in a dress, Barbie movie,
Yeah,
blah
love
blah
me
blah
some
blah. My
femboys.
point is, toxic masculinity did not just appear in the mid 2010s, but social media did, and the internet did, and the rise of dating apps did, and the housing crisis, and living in a country where the wealth inequality is worse than it was during the Gilded Age. That all happened recently. Oh my god, the privileged life these poor little boys must have, that their biggest problem is being lonely, i.e. so insufferable that nobody wants to sleep with them. So much more pressing than the poor distribution of wealth causing people to suffer food and housing insecurity. Boo-hoo, you're lonely and have no friends and are suicidal? Wah. Because feeling alienated under capitalism apparently isn't a thing. People are working harder and longer while wages have been stagnant, men have been dropping out of college like flies, and what does that get you? Poor men. Which, since women are doing amazing in college now, and many are now out-earning men, this most of the time leads to single men, which then leads to lonely men, which leads to depressed men, which leads to the high suicide rate. In my opinion, leftism at a policy level does a great job addressing the shitty material conditions that in part lead to the problems that men are facing, but then absolutely drops the ball when it comes to everything and anything related to men's cultural issues. Many such cases. And why would a struggling man even want to move left when the left appears actively hostile to them?
The question of whether or not the hashtag online left does enough to appeal to hashtag men has become the question du jour. And like, men have most of the money, authority, and do most of the murdering and assaulting.
The average young man in America isn't Jeff Bezos. Also, why did this motherfucker just FBI crime statistics at me? Men do the most murder. Okay?
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve. They like that. They want it to stay that way because it suits them. Because of the stuff, telling people they're special and deserve all the nice shit that they have, that's going to be an easier sell 10 times out of 10 than like saying, hey, maybe
I
you
don't
should
want
have
to
less
assume
stuff and other
anything.
people should have more.
This feels like friendly fire.
Kyle, you were doing so good for so long, not saying anything, and then
I didn't mean you should pause. I just
and that's what you came out with.
I just wanted to soak that comment up. I just wanted to soak it up real quick.
Alright.
Or
Leftism is when you don't have a lot of stuff. We're gonna take your stuff. You sound like a 65-year-old Fox News boomer's idea of what the left is. Are you a CIA agent? The right is saying to men, you will own a house. You will have beautiful children with your loving wife. You will have privacy. You will have free speech. You will own things, and you will be happy. And the left is like,
they like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
but don't get me wrong, Republicans will not do shit. The Republican Party will not do shit. The establishment in general will not do shit to help any of this. But the right is at least rhetorically offering men something other than nothing or the eternal HR department. Every time this
On the
Discord comes
surface,
up, there's
they're like,
people like,
yes,
we need a
you are
leftist Andrew
important,
Tate.
but
We need masculine role
behind
models
closed
on
doors,
the
they're
left.
like,
but the
"Just
fact
kidding,
is,
no,
it's
you're
hard
not."
for progressives
Yeah.
to organically appeal to men.
Otherwise,
because
it's
a
like,
large part of
"Just kidding, you're
progressivism
not important."
is oppressive
Behind closed doors,
hierarchy, and
maybe
men
a
are
little bit.
oppressors. Making
Probably not, though.
progressivism look appealing to young men
Real
is
weird.
an uphill battle from the start. And although it's funny to laugh at insane people on Twitter, as always, there have been a lot of left-wing content creators talking about men's issues. If you would have told me this would be a thing 9 years ago, I would not believe you, because anyone talking about men's issues back in the day was called an MRA or a pick-me. But lately I have seen a lot of good pro-men lefty content, and I'll put some links to some below. I don't agree with all the points they say, but I
Links
recommend
to
watching.
below?
It's much better than...
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But the issue is a lot of this lefty pro-men content, it's always framed around how do we get them? As if men are just pawns and tools for your personal politics. How do we make the left more appealing to men? How do we stop lonely men from moving to Andrew Tate? Instead of just, how do we help men? And I think that's a really big issue. Both sides seem to treat men as political fodder. Disposable soldiers in the culture war and real war. Anyway, misandry is real. Oh good! Finally! And while it doesn't systemically affect cis men, it most certainly affects trans men. Oh. Y'all talking about misandry doesn't harm men, and trans men are right there reading this shit, by the way. I see, now we only care about misandry because it affects trans men. Everyone stop! It's affecting a group I care about now. I love how the rhetoric just like evolved overnight from male tears to cis male tears. And I just have to ask, why aren't you including trans men in your misandry,
Overpriced filler and marketing hype don't improve supplements. So stop paying
Because
for
behind
them.
closed doors, they don't view
Nobody
trans men
told
as
me
men,
how
even though they are men.
lonely being a man is. We knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people want to hug us and to have people want to talk to us and to have a community. And then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to build. What's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid. But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men.
Welcome to being a man. Here's your complimentary isolation and yellow pillow. I love how even when he's experiencing the issues of being a man, he's like, this doesn't invalidate people hating men. Come on, bro. Men struggling don't want to be lectured about the patriarchy. They don't want to be told it's all their fault. They don't want to be told they're part of the problem because first of all, they're not. The average 20-year-old didn't build society. They go to work, come home, off to sissy hypno fetish porn, and go to bed like everyone else. I've talked about this before,
You didn't
but
have to call me
a
out
lot
like
of
that.
men's value comes from the money they make, unfortunately. Men are natural providers, and if they have nobody to provide for,
How'd you
they get
get
into
my history, by the
Findom
way?
or send random girls on the internet money. I'm just kidding, but the fact is, a lot of men simply feel like they don't have a purpose anymore. Whether a job or a career that's fulfilling and pays well, or a woman or family to protect and take care of and provide for, men are lacking purpose. And a man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose. But you know who does make them feel like they have a purpose? No, not him.
I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you.
The absolute audacity to
I don't like how
act
robotic
shocked
they all
that
are.
Andrew Tate
And how fast
is
they all
scooping
talk.
these guys up after a decade of
It makes me so
lol
uncomfortable.
male tears is insane. Andrew Tate isn't the solution to men's problems, but he is talking to them. The fact is, you did not care about them for years, and even now you just want to recruit them, not help them. And that's why you will fail. And hey, maybe I'll be the Andrew Tate of the left. Men, listen up. Wash your penis. So I guess I'll leave you guys with a question.
Nick,
Why do
listen
you
to
think
her.
male loneliness has
No.
been increasing? What are your solutions for this problem? And are you dealing
Men
with
always
loneliness?
wear a
And I
condom
will
in
see
the
you
shower.
guys next time with a...
No!
I've
Never
never not
expose-
worn a condom in the shower.
Exactly. Never expose your dick and balls to water or soap.
Oh, you know, I never did think about putting the balls in the condom too. That's genius. Fuck.
Exactly, dude. You gotta stuff it. Like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I hate both of you.
How can I expect any efficacy of the condom if my balls aren't in there too?
So what do you guys think?
That's a lot.
Lots and lots and lots of really, really good points, honestly.
I mean, everyone is sad and everyone's angry and everyone wants to have someone to blame, and it's the people we can blame are the people who are, for the most part, dead now.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the
We've
thing
got to
is
find a living scapegoat, and
usually it's men who really have nothing to do with anything that's happening.
Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate. It's hard. That's another thing. It's hard to talk about a topic like this without sounding
Yeah,
like an
exactly.
alt-right person, because they're the only ones that do talk about it.
Well, and that's
I'm
the
not saying
thing.
I say that, but like I said earlier, that's not necessarily true, and it's not necessarily true.
But
It's
it's
just
rare. It's very rare.
you've got to find the right people, and the right people are sparse, and they get drowned out by the louder ones.
And often, like she mentioned, even if they are talking about it, they have to make sure they bring up the point that it doesn't invalidate people who hate them.
Right. That's exactly like the guy in the video that was on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
Like, and it's true. It doesn't invalidate anything. Multiple problems can exist at the same time.
You're also capable of caring about multiple problems at the same time.
Right, and you're also it's also very possible and encouraged to care about multiple conflicting problems at the same time, because that shows complexity. That shows that you care more deeply than surface level performatism.
I have no control over any of the systems in place. I do not have the mental capacity or emotional bandwidth to invest in caring about them to that degree.
I am not a geriatric billionaire on the verge of having a stroke that'll put me in life support. I am a 20-something person that is just living day to day in a system that I can't influence, realistically.
And the people who bring up male privilege and act like, oh, they don't want things to change because they benefit from the male privilege, the system around male privilege. A lot of guys I know don't even know A, what male privilege is, and B, get mad when people bring it up because
they have male privilege.
And that's the thing. Male privilege is just certain things being easier because you're a man, because of systems that are put in place by men a long time ago.
Yeah, like I said, everyone that we should be mad at is pretty much dead.
And if they're not dead, they're rich.
That's like something I've had
still
to
be mad at them.
Something I've had to attempt to explain to people is on a similar vein as like white privilege. It's like, oh, I don't feel privileged because I'm white. You shouldn't. That's the whole point of it, is you don't notice it because you experience it.
By the way, Cargo,
but
how many
it
runs
doesn't
are you
mean that you have it easy. It just means that it may not necessarily be as difficult because of systems that are in place, Hold on, what is this number? 4,740,000.
Nice, I'm at 3 million. Just been farming away.
I want to get to 5 million before we end stream, which I've got like 4 minutes before I do that. So
I was gonna say I've gotta get off here relatively soon.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, and then I want to mention one more thing.
And then we'll do closing statements.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
This episode took a weird turn.
It really did. I titled it Spoopy Places. We talked about Spoopy Places for like 5 minutes.
We did. We literally talked about spooky places for like the first 10 minutes and then went off on a million other tangents.
We should just name our podcast We Don't Know What We're Doing.
That's what I usually do. Like this one, I said rune farming while jibber jabbering, because that's what we typically do. We just jibber jabber.
You know what I realized? I had not been changing the category of the streams for the podcast, so they've been all in gaming. This makes it work.
Nice. I mean, to be fair, I put it on talk shows and podcasts, which it still is. That's what we're doing. It just happens to be over game footage.
So, have you guys heard of Nora Vincent?
Nora
Nope.
Vincent? No, I can't say that I have.
She was a journalist, a feminist journalist,
I should say maybe, but not off the top of my head.
who wrote a book called Self-Made Man, where with the help of like a makeup artist and training and putting on certain clothes, lived as a man for.
Oh, is this the lady who checked herself into a mental hospital because of that?
She ended up committing suicide because of it.
Oof.
Because she went into it with the idea that it would be easy, and that was the whole point of the book, was to show kind of how easy it is to be a man. And she ended up committing suicide. I've seen that a lot lately, people talking about her.
Yeah.
It's a very sad situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one bad day away from that myself every fucking day.
Yikes.
I mean, clearly that day keeps getting pushed back, but...
Thankfully. For a multitude of reasons.
I don't know anymore.
And
I have felt that many times.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be difficult to find I don't know. Most people I know have felt that way at least once in their lifetime. And most of those people have felt it more than once, sometimes fairly consistently.
Well, and I think it's weird because men are valued very differently, right?
Workhorses.
They're valued in what they can provide.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been referred to as a rented mule before.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it's been for a very long time. And the thing is, the people who put that in place are men.
And they're mostly dead now.
Yeah.
And if they're not, they're the senile geriatric billionaires
And so
that
when
are in
people
control, that are on the verge of a stroke that'll put them in the ICU.
When people are saying it's a male problem created by men, I get it.
But
still
not
need help.
these men.
Yeah.
Not the ones that are currently being affected by it.
Yeah. And I definitely have felt the loneliness aspect of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and especially with, the fact that, men are earning less than women, which,
Why do you think I was so into giving you hugs all the time, Nick? Because of that exact thing, like loneliness. Like I wanted to feel someone care about me enough to embrace me.
Why do you think my Amazon shop is just full of sex dolls? Just want to feel something.
That might be a little different situation, but
Oh,
I'll accept
you mean
it.
sex dolls don't cure loneliness?
About as well as masturbation.
Oh shit. Well, I guess I won't buy them then.
I cancel the order.
Damn, they were halfway here too.
And they were half off.
They're gonna be real disappointed being shipped back to China.
Oof.
It's
They're
just-
only $50 instead of $100.
Yeah, it even feels weird to try and talk to therapists about it because a lot of the therapists I've talked to about it just don't seem to care.
That's why I. Yeah.
But
That's why I'm
only when it pertains to
trying to
that.
go to therapy is because
Only when it pertains to I'm lonely, and it usually has something to do with being lonely because of being a man. They don't seem to care.
yeah. That's I don't trust therapists. I think they're there to do their job and get paid, and I don't think they genuinely care about the well-being of their patients.
I think it's the same thing you could say for doctors or
Yeah.
I mean, police officers, firefighters. It's a certain percentage
I
for
think
sure.
it's a little different, at least in my eyes. It's way different for like firefighters because they're putting their lives much more at risk than just talking to a person for a little while.
I don't know. People going into therapy pretty crazy. You might get shanked in the neck with a ruler.
Yeah, but you're not rushing into a burning building.
I mean, my internal monologue's a burning building.
It's different. It's different.
By the way, to put anyone's concerns to rest, I would consider disappearing into the wilderness far before I considered actually killing myself.
There's
marginally better.
There's a new anime I started watching that hit me real hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this dude who was just going to work every single day, and he fucking hated his job.
Oh, the zombie
One Punch Man?
Yeah, no. Zom 100 is what it's called. And
I mean, that's how Saitama became Saitama. He just got tired of going to work, so he decided to do something different.
So it's this dude who just hates his fucking job, and then the zombie apocalypse start, and he's just like, "Fuck yeah, I don't have to go to work." And he just starts like making a bucket list and doing a bunch of shit during the zombie apocalypse because it's like I don't have to go to work anymore. This is amazing.
Right?
Oh, by the way, I'm at 5 million runes now.
Nice. We unfortunately, sorry to whoever just joined to watch the stream. We are ending up here.
Yeah,
I gotta get off.
We're doing our closing conversational pieces
things
now.
to do, people to see, places to
people
be.
To do.
Yeah, people to do
People
all
to
the things.
Pay on OnlyFans to do things.
Yeah.
Genuinely though, I've once again, I've genuinely thought about doing that.
What if we
Should I? Hey, Chad,
started
should
an
I do that?
OnlyFans together and posted separately?
That might be a little weird, but
Oh yeah, because we could see it. We could. I mean, but you know,
less weird than the Island Boys OnlyFans.
much less weird.
Because we're not going to be sucking each other's dicks and we're not related.
If you
And
are, you
honestly,
better be doing it for more than $5.
If you're only logging on to
$7.25 minimum,
then you can minimize the risk of seeing someone else's post. So like, I don't know. I wouldn't outright turn it down.
I mean,
I
I wouldn't do anything outwardly sexual either. I'd be eating food.
Yeah.
Which for some people is outwardly sexual.
For some people, yes. I don't know. I would have to figure out something that I could do that would be.
We do an OnlyFans competition. We each make a separate OnlyFans, and we gauge who can earn the most.
Yeah.
And on that note, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you had a great time. Who knows? I think Elden Ring playthrough number 7 is next on the list. We'll get to that sometime in the next few days. Everybody have a